Hello, dear students. It's nice to meet you online. We are now looking at Chapter 1 of General Computing Tools, Semester 2. This program covers transport and logistics and many other tertiary specialties. Thank you and stay tuned to the end of this class. I am Instructor Fritz and I hope you will enjoy the lesson and make use of it. So, in this chapter, we are looking at computer networks. So, the first thing, what is a computer network? We know about networks like MTN communication network. We equally know about the Orange network. But we know that a network is just a connection of objects, people, or things. So, all these connections form what you call a network. There are bad examples of network which I'm not going to mention, but we are just going to focus here on computer networks. So what is a computer network? A computer network is defined as a group of computers or communication devices connected by transmission media and channels and guided by a set of rules for the purpose of sharing resources. So note the key terms. A computer network is a group of computers or communication devices, a point, connected by transmission media and channels, another point, guided by a set of rules, another point, for the purpose of sharing resources. So this is the definition of a computer network. Now, what is the purpose of a computer network? The last few phrases of this definition gives us the purpose of a computer network. So the purpose of a computer network is to share resources or information. These resources or information could include applications and data. So my friend Tom comes to revise, define the term computer network and what is the purpose of a computer network. So this is my assistant and he will be doing the revision as we move from slide to slide. So you should be able to define what a computer network is and you should be able to give the purpose. The next slide we are going to look at some key terms associated with computer networks. So let's look at some terms associated with computer networks. The first is a node. A node. And a node refers to any personal computer, servers, networking hardware, or other specialized or general purpose host. So on a network, just like computers are connected, other devices are connected like routers, and a lot more to that network. Each of these forms what you call a node. So each of these is a node. And these nodes could be personal computers, they could be servers, they could be networking hardwares, or other specialized equipment or general purpose host. The next is interconnections. For something to be a network, there must be connections. Like you are sharing, you are being hotspotted on phone, you're sharing from that network, okay? So the connection there is wireless, okay? So with this, we are going to look at wired connections, wireless connections, and optical connections. So the nodes are connected by being physically wired or using physically wired cables. Equally, optical fibers can be used for the connections as well as wireless technology. So there are three modes of connections. The first mode is physically wired, the next one is optical fibers, the next is wireless technology. Now this optical fiber is like a cable, but it does not transmit electricity. What it transmits is light, optic. So it transmits the light from one end to the other end where it is converted to an electrical signal. Okay, so that's how optical fibers are. Unlike these wired cables actually work with electricity and so on. Now the next is a communication protocol. We saw this in the definition, but it was not written as a communication protocol. It was written as a set of rules. So a communication protocol is a set of rules. For people to be connected, there are some rules that must be followed in the exchange of information. So a communication protocol is a set of rules to exchange information over a network. There must be some set of rules, how the connections are done, how the information should be exchanged. So this is what they call a protocol. Okay. Now the next is a server. And what's a server? You always hear this term server. A server is a computer program or a device that provides a service to other computer program and its user. Computer users or users of computer programs are known as clients. Okay, so when you connect to a network or a server, you are known as a client. So there are different computers or different clients working on various programs. Okay, so a computer program or device which provides a service to other computer program and its user is known as a server. Note that in data centers, the computer on which the server runs is also referred to as a server. Okay, so you go to just that this computer like this is a server because it is this computer that provides a service to other computers. Like all of you go to the cyber cafe and all of that. All right, the last one, the last term here, packet. Packet. In the world of technology, information is sent out in packets. Okay, in packets. Like if some of you have done physics, must have heard about a quantum of light energy and all of that. So all information is being sent out in packets. If you're sending an information out, it goes out in discrete bits that go and join at the receiving end to form that information. A best way to explain this is talk about when you are downloading something from the internet, right? You're going to see 1%, 2%, and so on. And as the megabytes are increasing, you now see that it is actually entering in quantities, right? It's entering in bits or packets. That's why when you're downloading, it does not just enter all into your phone at the same time. It enters in packets. And when it finishes to enter, it recombines at that end. So a packet is a small segment of a larger message. And data is sent over networks in packets. So a packet is a subset of a larger message, and data is sent over networks in packets. All right, my guy, Tom. So what's a node? On this slide, what you should know is what's a node, and you should give an example or two examples of nodes. You state 3 ways of connecting nodes or 3 modes of connection of nodes. What is the communication protocol? Define the terms server, client, and packets. Okay. The next slide. Now let's look at what is known as a network diagram. The network diagram is just an illustration of nodes and connections and their modes of connection. So that's a network diagram. We may ask, define the term network diagram. Okay, so it's a representation of the nodes, their modes of connection on a network. So here we are going to look at these are the connections, right? So here let us focus with the wired connection. So with the wired connection we have, you can see this is a scanner that is connected to this switch here. This is a printer that's also connected. This connection here is like the power cables, right? That they connect here. Your charger, they are connected. So this is it. Then you equally have other pieces connected here to this power supply. You can equally see the server connected to the power supply. Okay. Now another thing we should ask ourselves is, why have they put this printer here twice? This first printer here, the illustration here is the wired connection, okay, being connected to the power. But somebody can still print from his computer, can still print something on this printer using a wireless network. So if this network is connected, if this printer is connected to a network, then I can print from this computer directly without connecting any cable. That's why the printer is here twice, and that's why this desktop or laptop is here twice, okay? This laptop rather. So here we're looking at the wireless connection. Equally, your phones, you can use your phone to print, send documents, all of that through wireless. That's why these ones appear twice. Okay. So we can equally see optical fiber cable here connected to this firewall. The firewall is just like some sort of like a bodyguard. It prevents harmful things coming in and out and all of that. All right, so it's a wall. It does not just allow anything. It has things that it allows to enter and so on. Then we have equally other local area network. This is a LAN, right? What's a LAN? A LAN is a local area network. So we call them LANs. This is supposed to be a small s, sorry. Local area networks, okay? So with this, if something gives the internet and comes here, this firewall should make sure if the thing is good, bad, all of that, and something that's also going out. So the firewall there is to protect, as we call it, a wall. Okay, it blocks anything that's crazy. So what are some advantages of networks? What are the advantages of uses or uses of networks? So the first advantage of a network is that there is simultaneous access. Okay, simultaneous access. So several employees may work on the same data at the same time. So several workers can work on the same data at the same time. That's the advantage of a network. B, shared peripheral devices. Many employees can share the same printer and so on. Okay, so many workers can be connected to the same printer, scanner, and so on the network instead of buying so many of them. Next is personal communication. So in the network, people can equally do their personal video conferencing and so on, many other things on that same network, which is not going to be affecting the other person. Okay, so you can share it and it will be less costly. Easier data backup. So data can easily be backed up in a network. Unlike you are working on a thing that is a standalone stuff, so it might become difficult to back up data. Okay, so what should you know from this slide to state the advantages and uses of a computer network? Advantages or uses of a computer network. So last but not the least, thank you so much. So for assignments, you look at the disadvantages of a computer network. Of course, when we talk about digital, maybe digital divide, like for those who are not computer literate, they seem to be in a dark continent and so on. Okay. So our next class, we are going to look at network typology according to media. Network typology according to media. Thank you, and make sure you look at the project topics. The submission to the project is going to be online, and you're supposed to prepare it using PowerPoint, not more than 6 slides. 5 slides maximum, 6. Like for those who have so many pictures, they might want to extend to 7. However, 6 is okay. The first slide must be a cover page, and the last one is conclusion and thanks. All right, guys. See you on campus. Goodbye.